Hey everyone, I'm Mateo. I have short hair. It's okay. I'll forge onward. Take this time to thank you for 1,000 subscribers. This is something. Being a man of my word, I'm going to critically analyze Moleman's rap battles. Now, I've never seen this rap battle, which is what makes this episode unique, because this will be a reaction followed up on my thoughts on the lyricism. This is a very long battle. I'm going to watch it all, but I'm going to skip through on the editing process my reactions to specific parts, because I don't want you to sit here for 7 minutes and watch me stare. Because, you know, I don't want to make any money or anything. Alright, Sally Acorn versus Mega Man 2. Okay. This is part 2. Okay.
Moleman's epic rap battle! Season 2, bitches! Mega Man versus Sally Acorn! Begin!
Glenn made a match and some fans threw a fit. But it was one that douchebag Kenny sued and everything went apeshit. So they cast my fight aside. Resolution to my point denied.
That's good.
Enough from you, Ricky. Don't you make one more squeak. Your insufferable exploded. It wasn't tongue-in-cheek about comparing you with Brett, so I could give you the blues. Brutal man, go get some major whistle blowing for me too. The kid's not a friend. Now you call me friend, Rock. You will address me as master. When it comes to Robo Hero, I'm the Omega Factor. I'm astronomical. The god of motor stand, pride, and joy. And you've got about as much chance of beating me as Robot Boy.
Comes on board, rushing down to
I
the
love
battle
Gina.
like a giant ass sword. I know about timed rhymes. They're my most critical priority. And when I'm on the mic, I'm my own highest authority. You're like... Whoa, hold it! Nobody invited you! Your wishes to be in this?
I think everybody invited you.
Because you're all a bunch of squares, like the guys who own my legal rights.
That's it. I've been through enough upstaging for one life. But before I let this fly, sooner be a monkey's wife.
You're setting up the ring to the end, and I'll crush you 40 times. And I can't promise that you'll live. You'll sure say you'll hear what I'm made out of. My speed is you all want fiction first.
Wait, what? No! Wait, announce your voice up above. That's the modern Sega Sonic. Not the man I know and love. Did I do that? Heidi ho! Me, Steve, but this ain't Blue's Clues. No, it's the Earthman in the schoolhouse. Little doll seems to think he's badass and medieval. But wait and see how tough he is once he meets up with Steve. Us over here may have a franchise, but I'll ruin that advantage when I make Capcom go flat bankrupt from property damage.
Who won? Who's next? I decide!
Okay. First thing I want to point out is that Steve Urkel's inclusion in this battle is by no means uncreative. However, 3/4 of his verse was completely about himself, therefore defeating the purpose of relating him to the people in the rap battle. If you really wanted to connect Steve Urkel to this battle, you should have done more than just take one line at a time to say, Mega Man, you're this, Astro Boy, you're that, Gino, you're that, Sally, you're this. You should explain in the verse how he's related to everybody at hand, and instead of making so many references about himself, there should be more relation to the subject matter. That's all I have to say about Steve Urkel. Okay, the vocals sounded like they were recorded in a metal blender, which diffused the audio into the very first ribbon coil ever manufactured on planet Earth. I'm not quite sure what you used to record this, because I can't think of something that makes it sound so terrible. I think that the reason it sounds so terrible is because of anything that happened in post-production. I could be wrong. It does sound like this was recorded either with an internal microphone on a computer or a camera microphone, or like I said, the metal blender. But other than that, let me show you what I have. So in here I have my Blue Yeti microphone hanging from the top of this bar here. And there's cloth behind here, cloth on the sides. If you don't have that kind of microphone, it's not your fault, but... Okay, now the rapping was not bad by any means. However, the static iambic pentameter of the entire thing, and the way that it sometimes was on and off with the beat, and it was so much louder than the beat, made it feel like people were just reciting bars and there was background music that applied to whatever franchise the character was from. I felt like the vocals were losing the instrumental. There were very few lines that I had a problem with, which is very rare in the fan-made rap battle community. I also appreciate how this was not as much as a rap battle as it was a story told through rap. So basically what you have here is Sally Acorn, Mega Man, and then a bunch of third-party rappers coming in, and then it kind of creates a story as it goes, which is what yields those lines that aren't really diss-worthy at all, like when he says, talk about an active genocide. Like, if this was just a rap battle, that would absolutely be no-go, because like you have a punchline, but you don't set up for it. It's like, and here's the punchline, genocide. But in this case, you're using it as a method of propelling the story forward, so I kind of understand that. Otherwise, if you have a reference, it requires a good enough platform to set it up before you dunk that punchline on the opponent. My favorite line was the Square Enix one.
You're all a bunch of squares, like the guys who own my legal rights.
I felt like that was a really good line because Square Enix is the reason why Gino hasn't been reintroduced in anything, because they claim the rights to him. They don't want him to be anywhere, which is one of the primary reasons he hasn't been considered for Smash Brothers. This was decent overall, pretty good, by no means terrible. The only things that made it terrible were the production value with the audio. That was somewhat unbearable to an extent. It was actually hurting my ears. See, I complain about this all the time, not having the right equipment to produce what I'm capable of producing. Seriously, a microphone, you can use a Rock Band microphone. It'll yield better audio quality than this. So I'm not bashing you for the quality. I'm not saying that you're bad because of that. I'm saying that it was a hindrance to the overall quality of your video. This was definitely creative. I think this was way too long. And not in the sense that there's so many characters, but that so many characters had so many lines. Something along like 16 lines per person, and then it keeps going on, like everybody has 16 lines and some people even come back. For audience retention purposes, way too long. For storytelling purposes, you know, if somebody has that kind of retention where they want to sit through this and they want to get as much out of it as possible, then that's great. But as I say, this isn't always the platform that compensates what you want it to compensate. If you go on my channel and see all the videos that I make and how many of them are neglected just because they're uncommon by YouTube standards. Like, I have stupid videos as my most viewed, like One Direction videos, like, because I only made them because I knew that they would get views. I don't want that to sound like I'm like gambling and like yearning for views, but the first step to building an audience is an audience. So you need that Kickstarter video to get the views necessary to be able to promote the content that you want to promote. Like, I have a video called The Island of Misfit Rappers, and all my family members played different characters from the Rankin Bass Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer production. Who's looking for that? Who wants to watch that? Now, if you watch it, you'll see that it's actually really creative. The lyrics in that video kind of bring out the same things that you're bringing out with your video. It's like a story told through a rap battle-esque fashion. There are certain lines that propel a story forward, and then there's certain lines that diss someone else in the group. That's kind of what I see coming from your channel. This has nothing to do with the quality of your video, but again, with picking up traction, Moleman's epic rap battles. Okay, so people see epic rap battles, which is something that I hate in this rap battle community, that everything has the format of epic rap battles of history. If you want to draw inspiration from them, you are more than welcome to. However, it is again a ripoff of what they have accomplished by copying them exactly. Like, this is this guy versus this is this guy. Begin. Like, you have to say begin to commence the battle, because that's all people are taught by watching epic rap battles of history. People think they have to name their things epic rap battles of something, or adjective rap battles of noun, or another adjective, or something that doesn't even make sense, or yo, this guy's epic rap battles, or this guy's rap battles of blank. You see, when I make rap battles, obviously there's inspiration from epic rap battles of history. I feel like I can bring different things to the table than what they bring. For example, I've only made 3 or 4 rap battles, and all of them begin with a story segue into the battle. With these kind of rap battles, there's nothing like that. It's just this guy versus this guy begin, and I feel like breaking that mold of getting away from epic rap battles of history is the best way to be creative in the sense of rap battles, because obviously any kind of rap battle on YouTube that pits up two people against each other in a choreographed manner is going to be a rip-off of epic rap battles of history, no matter what, under any circumstances. It's a problem with everyone. I'm not just calling you out for it, but again, epic rap battle parodies would not be where it is today if they weren't epic rap battle parodies. It's just that. And there I go again with the whole YouTube thing, and view mongering is that you have to appeal to something in order to get that audience. If epic rap battle parodies changed their name now at where they are, which I don't recommend, but if they did, they would have an audience. Most of the rhymes were good. The rhymes were very simple. There was nothing crazy. There was no like double rhyme scheme things. There was no internal rhyme. It was just, you know, da la 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 rhyme, la 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 rhyme, and you know that's okay. There's a difference between rap battle and a piece of lyrical artwork, and if you can blend the two together, then you have something very creative. What I suggest to you is to try to build upon that rhyme scheme instead of just keeping to a story structure where you're doing this because of rhyme and I'm doing this because of rhyme. A lot of the references were just one-sided, but you have those lines like the Square Enix line where it's a double entendre, where not only are they squares, like, you know, like they're like emotionless people, they don't want to do anything, like, no, get away from us, like, you know, like we don't want to have fun, we're squares. That's what squares are called. But then they're also squares because they're called Square Enix. So you have that double entendre. Most of the lines should be aimed towards achieving that double or triple or quadruple entendre, just to bring everything full circle. When you have just one-sided lines, like you're just mentioning something, and you know it's cool to reference that. It's like, oh, like I know what they're talking about here, but then it's like I know what they're talking about, and that's all they're talking about. And then there's the side of the spectrum where it's like, oh, I know what they're talking about, and I know how they related it to that other thing that I know that they're talking about, and I see the wordplay that came in there, and I see the rhyme scheme, and like, wow, like that was impressive with the way that you choreograph the story and how you incorporate the visual aspect of it in there. If there's one thing that you can probably build upon, it's definitely the structure of the lyrics and the vocals and the instrumental. All very good ideas that I see here. Definitely keep up what you're doing. If you would ever want to collaborate with me, I'd be more than happy to. YouTube's all about networking, and I'm more than welcome to collaborate with anyone who is serious about it and will create something productive and create something creative and actually worth watching out of it. And again, I feel more creative vocals can come out of this, because what I saw here was a girl rapping versus a young boy rapping versus another young boy rapping. And I'm pretty sure that you have effects on here, which is why I'm saying young boy, but in terms of what I'm witnessing here through the characters, it's being portrayed as girl, young boy, a little bit of an older boy, and then Steve Urkel. Steve Urkel impersonation was pretty good.
Oops, and did I do that?
Like, I used to do a good Steve Urkel impression when I was younger, now my voice is a little deeper and I kind of lose it, but if you try to provoke something creative out of the voice, again, like when you have Jack Frost, I could have just spoken like this. Try to envision that rap battle with just regular old boy vocals, like, whoa, don't tell me to back off, you Sasquatch, I'm Jack Frost, and you're the type of bicycle I'll snap off and snack on. Spit frost breath on a hot mess, no contest for the wicked winter watch mannequins nonsense, the most stylish of these thoughts says. You just have a flat atmosphere to build off of, but when you have that characteristic of that deep voice and like that sinister, like coming out, like scaling up your throat and like scratching the skin on your throat before it comes out, and you feel it like crawling up my throat, like it grabs you.
Don't tell me to back off, you Sasquatch, I'm Jack Frost.
And that kind of thing is what makes for rewatchability, sharing. People talk about it, people like it, they want to sing it when they're in the shower, they want to try to recreate it. You want to make something that people can look at and say, oh, that's Moleman. You know, like that's classic signature Moleman. And people see that with me, and they see the way I can change my voice around. They're like, that's Matt Froyo. It's like, huh, meet you in the court of love. You'll find that Master Chancellor. And then you have, whoa, don't tell me to back off, you Sasquatch, I'm Jack Frost. They both came from my voice. And it's like, you know, there's such a wide range of what you want to be able to do. You don't want to limit that. You want to expand it as far as you possibly can. And I'm gonna say, great work, keep it up. Again, you have me at your disposal to try out this voice thing that I'm suggesting that you do. And otherwise, I'm Matt Forio. I have a series called Chisel This. This was an episode of Chisel This. Usually I critique only lyrics, but this time I wanted to focus on more of the basis of the video, where it's coming from and what he did with it. And again, I don't really have the lyrics in front of me. I'm not gonna like rummage through them and try to pick things out when the majority of them were just, you know, okay, decent lines. Like nothing was bad about it at all. It wasn't over the top, but it definitely wasn't bad either. So keep progressing from that middle point that you're at, and you kind of, you know, you get more creative and you bring more things to the table as you go. You will become something that is far greater than just the norm. Definitely you have potential for it with your series here, and I urge you to keep doing what you're doing. Congratulations for all of your accomplishments. I'm Matt Forio. And all good work, just like anything else on this earth or in this atmosphere, begins with a chisel.